Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel with my husband.
Hi everybody.
So today guys, my video today is update for land update.
Land update.
Yes.
So what's the update on your land?
I have already the fence permit and
Yep.
building permit. So I need to back to the municipal for pick up to the building permit, and then I need first for notary sign.
Okay, so you got to go in, sign, and in front of a notary,
Yeah.
and then they'll give you the permit.
Yes.
Oh, we've heard that before. Well, the good news is we're not in any big rush these days.
Yes.
So we're waiting on the title to come through. Our friend JR is working on that for us. And so on the house build update, there really is no update to go over other than we're in hurry up and wait mode. We probably won't even build anything until next year. And what might stop us from building next year is the exchange rate changing drastically. A couple points here and there, no big deal. But you brought out the point. This is the second time doing this video. We had a massive interruption behind us before. But May brought up the point that when the peso was at 60 almost, it was at 60 almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3
and
years
it was
ago.
at 60, almost 60 again.
Yeah.
A year and so many months ago. It's been steadily staying up around 58, that number to one US dollar. And the way I save money is I move money when it's high, and I take it from America and I push it over here to the Philippines when it's at a really good rate, really favorable rate, extraordinarily good rate. It works for us twice.
Yeah.
It worked for us 2.5, 3 years ago, almost now, when we bought a car.
Yes.
And I saved like almost $2,500 off the car. I bought a brand new car, if you can believe that, for $10,775. And it would have been $13,000, so $2,000 and change that I saved just in the exchange rate. And when I say I saved it, I use a benchmark of 50 to 1. Because when I moved here, the rate was at about 46, 47. And when it went to 50, anybody that was an expat from America changing dollars, we were dancing in the street when it hit 50. That was like a miracle number to us. And today, to me, 50 is still a great rate. It's not as enticing as 59, but it's still good compared to what I was used to when I first got over here. And I also have to look at what is the peso going to be worth. Is the dollar going to get weaker because of the commotion that's going on right now in the States? Is the peso going to get stronger, or is it going to get weaker also? Nobody knows. And if they try to tell you they do, they don't have a crystal ball. So if the dollar gets weak, but the peso gets weak, well, it's almost like a push, no harm, no foul. You might still be at the same exchange rate. But if the dollar falls, which I think it's going to do for a while at least, and the peso starts to move up, which a lot of Asian currencies are starting to do, then it's something that we have to consider. That's going to bite into the budget as far as building a house.
Yeah.
The good news is, I suppose, is since our first debacle with a contractor, we've done a lot of research, a lot of observing, watching what other people are doing, and we probably won't use a contractor, and we'll probably piecemeal the job out as we go along. Our friends Mike and Janet just had water put on their property.
Yes.
And Mike's getting some bids from a guy. I'm getting some bids from an engineer. And him and I talk about it a lot because we're both at the same stage pretty much. He's still trying to get his title to the land and building permits and all that hoo-ha. And we're a little ahead of him on the permit process, but he's ahead of us as far as having water put on. We just haven't tried. So it's not something we've been pushing. The reason we haven't pushed it is that until we actually have, I call it a pink slip, but until we actually have a title in her name, in her hand, that she can hold and look at and say, look, this is the title to my property. I'm not going to invest any more money into this place. I know it's cool. I know everything's clean, It's just a matter of getting it. And JR told us that the last stage could take 3, 4, 5 months
Yes.
just to pay taxes,
Yes.
the transfer tax. And the transfer tax has 3 components, and we paid 2 of them. And the big one is just laying in escrow, basically. JR's got my money, and as soon as they get around to it, they'll say, okay, this is what it's going to cost you. This is what the land's valued at. And it's kind of like an appraisal. And then that's just what you owe on it. And then we're done. But the heavy lifting financially is over with. This is going to be the first time that I transfer money this month where it's back to our normal budget, where we're not having to take out extra just for the sake of paying for this or paying for that. So that's kind of the update on that,
Yes.
financially, I guess.
Yeah.
And as far as the build itself, we're kind of rethinking our thinking. We don't know if we're going to put 1 structure, 2 structures, a big one, a medium, a large. All depends on the
But
price
your
of
friend
rice,
is
you know.
Lenny is using the
Lenny.
architect, right?
All right, Lenny's using an architect.
Yes, very
And
nice house.
it's a very nice
Yeah.
house. This is one that the contractor that scammed me, he also scammed Lenny. But Lenny got the shell of his house built because he jumped in earlier. And so this, when the contractor went out of business, Lenny didn't lose that much money on the deal because he got a lot of work done, excavation, the land got raised, the walls got put up, the foundation was poured. So he was building a pool, so that got
Yeah.
dug. You know, a lot of stuff got done. So he lost probably the same as me, but at least he had something to show for it. He hired an architect and said, "The hell with it." The architect knows, you know, the size of the beams. I met the architect, got his card, and he comes to Lenny every week, I think it is,
Yes.
with a
Every
receipt
week. Yeah.
and says it's computer printout of where he goes to buy the materials, and Lenny has to approve it, and then he consults with Lenny. What size rivets do you want me to buy? You want me to buy the big ones? Do you want me to buy big beams, less expensive beams? And then Lenny can pull the trigger any way that he wants to. Of course, he's trying to go full tilt on everything, the best, which, especially on a roof, which is what he's doing right now, is the smart thing to do. And that's kind of that. He gives the architect a salary,
Yes.
and the guy's got 8 or 9 guys over there. And we need to go over there this week.
Yeah, need to look the
and
house.
we're going to go look at it
Yes.
and see what the progress is like. Talked to Lenny briefly, and he says it's really come along well, so we should come look at it. And he's got another friend over there I forgot about that wants to sell his house and wanted me to maybe come over and videotape it. So there might be a house for sale video coming up on my channel. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see what life deals us this week or next week. And so that's kind of the update.
Yes.
And
And then the wife,
Go ahead.
and then the wife to Lenny, she advised me, you can tell to Paul, if you build the house, you need to use the architect. It's very cheaper compared in the contractor.
I agree.
Are you agree that?
I do. Because the contractor, he deals with the architect. And the architect is the guy that figures out, you know, what load, how the walls, how thick they should be. He's the one that actually has the actual knowledge, unless the contractor happens to be a licensed architect also. But why do you need 2 guys doing one thing? The contractor basically facilitates and is a middleman. I'd rather be the middleman. And I agree a lot now that you need to be on site almost every day while the build's going on. You need to show up. I don't think you have to sit there for 8 hours while the guys are working, but you do need to put a face to it every day. It's either me or her. We'll go out there and just, you know, all you have to do is observe.
Yeah, observe.
And the minute they see you, they jump into action.
Yeah.
I won't mention his name, but we have another friend that's building a house. And there was only 2 guys working because they didn't have their permits in order yet. So the city said stop building. But the contractor he has, which is a good one, went ahead and kept 2 guys over there to move some stuff around and just under the radar work. Well, they were in the bunkhouse relaxing.
Yes.
And then May and I showed up.
Ah, yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they they jumped into action. You know, they were being observed.
The worker is behind in the barracks, and
Yeah.
then if they have people, she's working.
Right,
My
right.
God.
And they were just carrying rocks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, it's like, you know, God bless them. I know it's hot and it's hard and it's heavy and they're not making a lot of money, but you are being paid to do a job, so you should work.
Yeah.
And but when Ray and I we were just snooping around. We were just going to look at his house to see how it's going. And these poor guys, they got startled, and next thing you know, they were running around working. And I'm sure I looked in the rearview mirror as we were pulling away, and they were heading back into the bunkhouse. I'm like, okay, those people are gone. We'll go lay down again.
Oh my
So
God.
that is important that you supervise these guys. And actually, if you hire an architect or something
Yeah,
like
architect.
that, he gets a foreman.
Yeah,
And the
foreman.
foreman is supposed to be there. And the foreman is supposed to really fill that role
Yes.
of cracking the whip.
Yes.
And then the architect should show up every day. That would be one of the stipulations I would
Yes.
have in the contract. You and I would need to show up every day.
Yeah, every day.
If nothing else, just to check and see, take the pulse and see
Yes.
how they're doing, and not necessarily push them.
Yes.
I'm never in any big hurry.
Yeah,
if
me
it
too.
if it takes 6 months to build a
Yeah.
house, great. If it takes a year, great.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as it's done right.
Yes.
I'd rather have it done right and take a
Yes.
year than have it done half-assed and do it in 6 months.
Yes.
So we could do a septic tank like Mike's doing. He's going to have a septic tank dug out, and then I think he's going to have the foundation compressed. And then if that's the budget, then that's the budget. And I'm going to follow the same example he's setting. We'll just do it and pay for it. And once it's done, then we'll pay for it and give half now, half later, or something
Yes.
like that. And then move on to the next step.
Yes.
Whatever the old monthly budget says, really.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Because if you people, you can pay all people like getting lazy for work.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you can pay the half.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
You never want to pay up front.
Yes.
No, it's like paying rent up front. I know guys that say, okay, and I thought it was a good idea initially because it seems like you're saving money, but now I realize what a bad idea it is. So to make an analogy out of this is, let's say you have a house that you can rent, and the rent is 25,000 pesos, call it $500 a month. And you say to the guy, look, I'll pay you all year up front, but you charge me 22,000 pesos, and you save X amount of dollars over the course of the year, and the guy gets all of his money up front. I think that's a bad idea, because now you've got nothing, all the power, he's getting paid. So if something breaks in the house, he's going to be like, yeah, well, you take care of it. You know, not my problem, your problem. Where if you owe him rent the next month, you can say, look, you know, this broke in the house, not my fault, your house.
Yes.
Either you can fix it or I'll just deduct it from my rent. How's that sound? And you can get into that conversation. You have a little edge over guys when you owe them instead of you just giving it all up front. I've noticed that over here. I guess that's just the same universally though.
Yes.
Yeah. What else you got going on?
So I think guys, I will update next month about the land update because this month is my sister is very busy for process the paper.
Yeah, talk about
for-
paperwork. She's getting married. Took us 4 months.
You can tell the people about that.
Oh, I don't want to go over it again. It's too painful. Oh my God. It was the end of COVID, and we had to get your birth certificate, had to be
Barangay.
transferred, and 5 times we tried to do it by, what was that, PSA or something like
Yeah.
that? And
Sinumar.
Cinemar.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Cinemar, baby. It was the birth certificate. You were in Chateau, and for some
yeah,
reason
yeah.
it had to be transferred to Dumaguete.
Yes.
Which to this day doesn't make any sense at all.
Yes.
I mean, I was from LA. They didn't ask me to transfer mine to Dumaguete, but she was born in Chateau, and they go, oh, well, it's got to be transferred to Dumaguete. I never heard of that before, and nobody else has either. But these people were demanding it.
Yeah.
And she eventually went to Chateau.
Yes.
And you went to the municipality or
Yes.
wherever you go,
Yeah.
and you got your birth certificate, and you got it notarized, and you took it to a lawyer. And
Yes.
to this day, I don't know what the hell
Yes.
happened.
And
But
it-
after she made that trip, it was cool.
And then you go to the PSA, you need to transfer another chair.
Oh yeah,
Because
don't even get me started on the musical chairs at PSA.
Daddy Police is very laughing. Saying, oh my God, it's big difference in the US. Here, the chair or next chair.
Yeah, you don't go to just one window; you go to about 3 or 4. It's not very centralized, but
Yeah.
you know you got to get used to it.
Yes.
So that I guess is the big bad land update. You know,
Yes.
you'll get a house one of these days. I
Yes.
guess.
I have a Kobo house. I have the bamboo, what to call that?
Gate.
Bamboo gate.
Yeah.
And then it's complete the fencing.
Fencing's done. Cupo's
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
Power, water, all
Yes.
that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Again, that'll get done this year.
Yeah.
So that when we walk onto the property and we're ready to build, it'll already have power, it'll already have water, it's already fenced. It's just a matter of
Yes.
moving dirt and putting up walls and getting a design. And there's a couple of houses that I'm watching being built that are smaller than what we originally planned, that I'm kind of liking more. And I'm kind of liking the idea of doing more, kind of a modest, more of a medium-sized house, as opposed to a big house or a really tiny house. Kind of a medium-sized house, maybe 1,500 square feet, as opposed to, I think we were going to do 2,600 square feet originally. It was just too much once we looked at it. I don't think we want a pool. They're nice to
Up
look
to you
at,
if
but
you want the pool.
yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And you can always put a pool in later. So that's kind of it.
Yes.
Maybe we'll build 2 separate dog houses.
Yeah. I think that I'm not sleeping.
No. So, and then you got to furnish that puppy.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another expense.
Yes.
Because all of our furniture is cooked.
Oh,
We need
yes.
new refrigerator, stove,
Yeah.
couch, everything.
Yes.
Desk. That's a lot of money. So, you know, you just got to piecemeal it.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we're not complaining. We're just explaining. In the Philippines, it can go very slow.
Yes.
And that's fine with us because it just gives, every month that goes by, I feel like we just got another month more saved up, and we only pay cash for whatever it is we're going to do or buy. I guess there's bank financing out here, but it's ridiculous interest rates and mortgage rates, and not even worth looking into. So that's about that, I
So
think.
that it's guys for land update.
Land update.
Yes.
Yay.
So
See you in the next
guys,
video, I guess.
see you next video. Thank you so much for the call. Bye bye guys.
Bye, everybody.